The Mass has been a part of my life from the time I was a child. My mom would bring me and my siblings to daily Mass very often, pretty much every day. And I always remember enjoying it, partially when I was little, just because it was short. This practice, I think, really allowed me to get to know the Mass really, really well. And even now, I can recite large portions of the prayers of the Mass by heart, and I know that goes back to just being steeped in the Mass when I was little. And I think of, in terms of how this influenced my vocation, I think of this practice of daily Mass as just preparing the soil of my heart for the seed of that vocation to be planted. And that daily watering, which was the daily Mass, turning over the soil of my heart, just made it soft, moist, just perfect for that little seed that was going to be planted in it. And the planting of that seed also happened at Mass. When I was in middle school, our pastor asked the young people of the parish to really pray about their vocations and ask God what he wanted of them, what he wanted of their life. And so I really took this to heart, and I decided to pose my question at the consecration of the Mass. And so I did. And as the priest raised the host for veneration, from our Lord there into my heart came the word that was the seed of my vocation. And I've known my vocation from that moment at that Mass. But of course, just like a little seed, it takes time for it to grow and develop into a full plant. And so that little seed continued to be watered by daily Mass. In a few years, the little plant started to poke its head up. People could see it. And as I got older, I continued going to Mass often, but I also started spending a lot more time in prayer before our Lord in the Tabernacle, before him in Eucharistic adoration. And this continued the whole time I was discerning, but especially when I came on retreat here with our sisters, we had a time of adoration often throughout the retreat, but one of those days we had come in, and just instantly there in the Lord's presence, I knew that this was the place he was calling me to be, that he was calling me now at this time to be his bride. And I'd always dreamed of my future husband proposing in a church, so I guess you can say that was really fitting. And so I said yes fully to the Lord in that moment. And now I bear the name of one of the Eucharistic saints of the church, Blessed Imelda. She's the patroness of first communicants and really is a witness in the church of the deep, deep love we should have for our Lord and the way that he's calling us to love him. And so I hope to continue by my life, by my consecration, to continue to witness like she did. And so I guess you can say this little plant now has secure roots and continually lives watered by the daily Mass, warmed and made fruitful by the sun of time in his Eucharistic presence.